This jail was located on 96 acres of lot. It's a lot of football fields. It was home to Tony the Big Tuna, is a Chicago mobster. Frank Nitti from the Chicago Outfit. Larry Hoover, if you're from Chi-Town, you know who Larry Hoover is. Jeff, the founder of the Black Pea Stones. And we all know the serial killer, the clown, right? If not, I'll tell you his name at the end of this video. This jail was my backyard for years. When I say backyard, I mean literally, this is what I see in the back of my yard. Welcome back, Raza. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, smash that bell so you get notifications so you'll miss nothing. If you are part of my Round Strong family, welcome back. What's up, Raza? We got a new one, hot one. I had to take it back home again. One of the toughest prisons that I've been in. I've been to a couple of them, but I would say by far, this one was very, very tough. Not just because of the going in, but the getting out and making it home. But, so what's up, La Suburban? Let's get on this ride. Cook County Jail was my backyard for many, many years. It is the third largest prison system in the U.S. by inmate population, next to Los Angeles and New York. Chicago's Cook County Jail is located right in the middle of little village, La Villita. It's an immigrant home, better known as Mexico in the Midwest, only 6 miles away from all the skyscrapers in downtown. You could literally see them when you're standing on the street. When I say Mexico, I mean it. 26th Street has so much culture that there's people that have lived there for years that didn't even have to learn how to speak English because there are so many Mexicans in that area that we have some of the biggest parades for El Día de la Bandera, El Día del Grito. It's pretty much a city inside of a city, and this is the culture that is created right on the backyard of this prison that I'm going to talk about, Cook County Jail. It is a very, very dangerous place, and if you make it out, when they're getting ready to let you out, the correctional officer usually shouts out, "We got guys coming." Everyone runs at first. Not because they're afraid of the prison, or in all reality, they're afraid of what waits for them outside. It seems like they're running from the jail and it's chasing them, but once you get to California Avenue, it's a whole different race. Now they're surrounded, and not only is it cold, the Chicago cold is nothing nice, but they become hunted like in the Hunger Games because the Latin gangs that own that area, it's a very high likelihood that you're either going to get jumped, shot, stabbed, or chased. You will be walking for at least 15 miles to get home if you're not from that area. West side, south side, north side. They give you one bus ticket. That bus it's only one ride. The buses change a lot in Chicago, so you're going to be walking at least 15 miles alone at night, walking through turfs. This is what I tell people that if they ever seen that movie Warriors, that is the same thing in Chicago. You cannot be in the wrong neighborhood because you will be running for your life. For generations, there's a Popeyes that's right across the street on 26th Street in California. It used to be like a safe house. Everybody used to run there, cash their checks, make the phone calls, have people pick them up, and that's how they got home. But after having so many incidents of shootings and shooting up the Popeyes and stuff like that, the company took on security measurements, and they weren't letting people in no more. So now getting back home was actually like the Hunger Games. You were being hunted as soon as you got out. And trust me, I did it. A lot of people do it. The SDs are there, the Land Kings are there, the Tutu Boys, the Deuces. There's a lot of gangs in that area, and everybody knows that the inmates get released at 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. They know. They're driving around in cars, waiting and waiting and waiting to see who they could catch. This is a game that has cost a lot of people their life. And that's if you make it out of the county jail. That's if you make it out. Because Cook County Jail is one of the most violent county jails there is. You can look it up if you don't believe me. There's stabbings. Not only do you have to worry about the gangs in there that you're going to be fighting, but the correctional officers themselves is a gang. When you come in, they have these black gloves that they wear. They're smashing you if you don't listen. And I look at those correctional officers from Chicago like thugs. Like they come from, remember, they come from that tough city also. And they probably grew up in those neighborhoods also. So you also have correctional officers that, you know, might look out for a king, might look out for a 2-6, might look out for gang ex-members, blah, 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 because they grew up in that neighborhood. Just because they're not a member doesn't mean they're not associated. But they're also thugs and they stick together. They're the biggest gang in there. They will smash you. I got beat up so bad one time because I tried to sneak a joint in. And this is what they do. As soon as you walk in, you have to strip. You strip, you put your head against the wall, your forehead against the wall, and they walk in with these dogs. These dogs will bite you right away if they smell anything on you. And then after the dog bites you, the COs beat the crap out of them. All these COs are swole. They've been working out. We call them Ninja Turtles. They're not playing. They will smash you, and they do smash you. There's been a lot of lawsuits against these guys because of how they run the show. Do I blame them? I mean, you have to, it takes a dog to catch another dog. So that's the way I look at it. They have to be hardcore also to be able to hang with these motherfuckers, because you got some hardcore motherfuckers in there. If you guys have not seen that video about that dude that knocks out the 3 correctional officers in the Cook County Jail, check it out. You'll see he literally knocked out 3 of them completely cold. And this is what they deal with. So you're going in there putting your life on the line. You got to be thuggish, ruggish bone too. You got to be ready to get down. So that's what I mean. Chicago is a gangster ass city, whether it's on the one side or the other. It doesn't matter. Stabbings happen by the regular. The tables are set up all by gangs. If you are Latin folks, you're going to be sitting with all the Latin folks. If you're people, you're going to be sitting with all the people. The 5s and the 6, that's how they sit. And if you run with the folks, you're going to sit with the folks. And that's how it is. There is no, in Cook County, there is no race. They don't sit like how when I did time in Arizona, they don't sit like that. Over there, there's, you know, black Latin Kings, white Latin Kings. It's all gangs. There is no segregation by race. It's all gangs. Same thing with the TVs. Folks and people. It's only 2 units. Folks and people. How you sit, how you eat, all that. If there's a lot of one gang in there, they all try to stick together and do everything together. But the guards also mess with you a lot, man. They if they don't like you or something, or you're just like a troublemaker or something, they'll mess with you to the point where they'll put you in a cell with an enemy gang member, and guess what? It's time to get bowdy until the doors open. And there was a case where one of the SDs for 59 was put actually in a cell with one of the gangs that they have the biggest beef with, the Saints, and he ended up murdering him with a sock. It was all over the news. And I think the kid was only 23 years old and the Saint was 19 years old. But this is what I mean. They're put in those circumstances where they have to actually react, or they get looked and dealt like, you know what I mean? So it's crazy. It's crazy. I did time. I was in Division 10 4 times. And there was one time that I had my cellie. His name was Looney. And he ended up getting 43 years for a murder. He killed his best friend. And while we were on the cell in lockdown, he was walking around with a big-ass bone crusher, a big-ass knife, and was just pissed off because he had got the amount of time that he got, right? And he just kept on saying he didn't give a fuck no more. you know, he was gonna go down for life and blah blah blah. And I actually thought that he was gonna try to stab me up and kill me, even though we were from the same gang, friends, everything. Because at that moment they're irrational, they can't think, and they're hurt. But this is what happens with that gang mentality, gang life. He actually killed his best friends because the same disciples went to war with the Tutu boys. So he went and killed his best friend in front of his house. You know what I mean? Like showing loyalty to the gang no matter what. And you know, these guys are never coming home. And, you know, Cook County Jail was one of the most dangerous prisons I ever set foot on. Not just dangerous because of the gangs and everything, but dangerous because of trying to get home after you get out, after everything is said and done. Like it's not for sure. And you know, it's not a good place to be at, man. It's not a nice place. It's been there for a long time, and it's crazy how it's right in the backyard of the neighborhoods that mostly all the people that live in that neighborhood are in that place. And you know, like I said, I don't glamorize nothing that I share on this channel. I don't share it to you know, boast about how I live my life or nothing. I share it for hopefully there'll be a kid out there that'll listen and see this and not make the choices that I made. Remember, you're fighting over a street and a color that does not belong to you. It never will and it never has. And once you're in jail, everybody forgets about you. Nobody writes you, nobody sends you letters, nobody, nothing. I sat for almost 9 years without a letter, not even from my family. Yes, the gang becomes your family in there. But even in there, there's some shady cats. There's some weird people. You don't want to spend your time in there. You don't want to spend the rest of your life in there. Life is beautiful out here, where you can decide what you want to eat, when you want to go to bed, and what you want to do. Life is beautiful. Like I said, my name's JC. I am Wrong the Strong. Give somebody a hug. Don't judge nobody. Stay in your lane. Live savage. And live that great life. Because if you live a great life, guess what? All you need is just one. So let's do this.